am I wearing this coat, Brandon? Why? You might know, you might not know. But I'm gonna tell you. It's for the new segment, Dehumidifiers and Space Heaters. Yes, shouts to the LA Clippers. This is what we do here, right? I put the coat on because it's symbolism for the basement. You gotta stay warm in the basement. So you gotta get the space heaters and the dehumidifiers out. Hey, Clippers, what happened? They just won tonight. We're recording on a Friday night. James Harden hits a game-winning 4-point play. They win. You should have seen the celebration in Clipperland. They looked like they won the Western Conference Championship. That's how desperate they were for a win. I get it. I understand, right? I get it. Here's the problem that I'm having, right? Is that people had hit me up today. It was like, oh, did you see the news? Yo, I respect that, man. Dude's a teammate. He do exactly what you need him to do when things is hard. Respect to Russell Westbrook. He chose to go on the bench. So my rebuttal was, oh, did he now? Chose. So he was the one that went to the coach and said, hey, I think it's time for me to go to the bench. I always love these reports because it tells you more than what it should, right? We all see the reports when you see somebody amicably part ways, right? Head coach steps down. You know what that's code word for? Motherfucker got fired in the back and they said, all right, cool, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say that we mutually parted ways because we like you, right? Ty Lue said, guess what? Your ass is going to that bench. Because how I got convinced to start James Harden and Russell Westbrook in the same lineup, somebody needs to shoot me. I don't know who thought that was going to work. I remember sitting here, and there was a gentleman sitting in your seat, GQ Phil. His name is Lynx. Shouts to Lynx. The man sat there and tried to combat me about Clippers information. And I said to him, on what planet is starting Russell Westbrook, James Harden going to work? It didn't work in OKC, so they had to have James Harden come off the bench. It didn't work when they went to Houston because Russell Westbrook can't shoot. So now you're going to fast forward years later. Russell Westbrook's shooting has gotten worse. And this is the time to pull the trigger and say, we're going to do it again.
Dummy, yeah.
So Ty Lue said, your ass is going to that bench. But I like you. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to tell the media that you said you're going to volunteer to go to that bench. I love it. And listen, I don't care what happens to my Lakers. They can win 40 games this year. They can lose 50. As long as I get to watch the Clippers implode on themselves, it's going to be Christmas come early for me. I've told you guys several times, I wish this to happen. I did. I wish two things to happen and it happened. So maybe I have some powers here. Maybe. I said that Chris Paul will end up on those Golden State Warriors and he ended up doing it. Black Cat Paul's a warrior. They're 6-7 right now. James Harden, I said, hey, nothing would please me more than to see James Harden on the Clippers. They're now 4-7. I hate being right, but I love rubbing it in. I do. So, what does this tell me in regards to the season? Are they going to go on a run? Of course, it's basketball. Every team is going to figure it out a little bit. We're not saying that the Clippers are not going to make the playoffs. Of course they are. They always make the playoffs. They're the Clippers, the new Clippers. Not the Clippers that we grew up on, right? The laughing stock. They've upgraded a little bit. They have Steve Ballmer, the guy who sits there and grabs thighs on the sidelines. That guy. 10,000 bathrooms. That guy. Right?
Flagrant.
Goes ahead and builds a new arena in Inglewood. And there's going to be great concerts. It's going to be great concerts there. Huh? Volleyball tournaments. Badminton. You know what came about basketball over there? So he got that. Got the support. Right? But what are we going to see when it comes to playoff time? I'm not what do you call it? A fortune teller. I'm not. I'm somebody that looks at trends. You know how stocks, people who study stocks, they look at trends. They see exactly what's going on. I am studying a trend from the time that I was 9 years old to now. There's a trend. Death. I understand that at 9 years old, people die. Right? I remember seeing my goldfish get killed by my swordfish, and I was like, Ma, what's wrong with the fish? He's upside down. And she's like, son, that's just the nature of life. Things die. Taxes. Remember when I had to pay my first taxes? I was just like, yo, they took out mad money from me, fam. Like, I don't even make that much, and they still took that much. You know what I mean? I realized that this was going to be a thing going forward in my life. The Clippers being jokes. I knew from 9 years old that too was something that would follow me my entire life. So why would I now think that it would change? It won't. This is the team that's the only team in the NBA that has 4 stars on it. The bench is weak. They played a lineup the other game against the Nuggets where they had Kawhi Leonard guarding Jokic. Jokic cooked his ass. Then they put Paul George on Jokic. Cooked his ass. While Zubac is on the bench watching. Only big man on the team. He not playing. This is what you do when you're desperate. I keep telling people this. When you have not had a girlfriend in so long and some succubus comes along and she's the worst person on the planet, you will accept it because it's like, yo, I don't know when the next one's going to come. I don't know when I'm going to get the next chance to have some consistent boxing in my life. I'm going to have to take this risk. This is what Steve Ballmer has done. He has went to bed with the girl that hates his guts. He bought the team that's Jake's. So in closing, will say, I'm going to support the Clippers this year. I'm going to support them. I want to make sure that they stay healthy. I want to make sure that Clipper fans feel good about themselves to know that they have Russell Westbrook coming off the bench now. They got James Harden hitting game-winning threes. They got Steve Ballmer grabbing thighs and being excited. They got all of these things happening. Clipper Darryl, all of the Clippers fans out there excited. They're going to make a run now. Up to the point where it gets snatched away in the playoffs because Clippers do what Clippers do. And just like the story that I told with death, with my little goldfish, taxes, I was 19 years old and he just took all my money. And I knew that this was going to be a thing going forward for the rest of my life. And the Clippers being jokes because they always tend to choke. So, moving on. That was pretty good. I don't know. I know it was. I know you like that.